So let's see, enemy army routes, and let's take a look at this next roll. Faction destroyed, Scythia. But as if the computer hadn't cheated me enough already, look what they did. Scythia is destroyed, and they only did this so that they could then fill the army with a bunch, or fill the city with a bunch of rebels. So that's just absolutely brilliant. Like, they just do not, under any circumstances, want me to get my hands on this city. Unbelievable. And let's take a look. I'll bet you the auto-resolve's like still against me, even though it's like nothing but peasants on the inside of the city. Oh, they don't have an enemy general. Do I dare auto-resolve this battle? Oh, wow. I got lucky there. So, goodbye, you filthy, stinking Scythians. I'm glad that every last one of you is dead. And I'll do my best to make sure that your generations and gene pool are ended here. Oh, good gracious. I'm definitely going to tear down your shrine. As they're going to absolutely rid this city of your filthy culture. Start retraining men. Alright, good. Gosh, dang, man, I'm glad the Scythians are dead. Ding dong, the Scythians are gone. So, now that we've accomplished that part of the campaign, we'll just keep on moving. And I'm going to go out here and pick a fight with these huge armies of Dahae. I think that this will be a good opportunity for me to just destroy pretty much their entire faction rather quickly. They don't have any generals out here either. I'm going to leave just one unit to garrison the city. I have more being trained, and Alexander's close enough by that shouldn't be much of an issue. Right, so we're going to get ready for a big fight. First part of what I'm sure is going to turn out to be a massive slaughter underway. Let's check out the troops that the Dahae has brought, barbarian swordsmen. And these are actually, in my opinion, better troops than the spearmen you were seeing from Scythia. Mainly because the swordsmen, if they actually get onto the flanks of a phalanx, they're like actually semi-effective. So I'm going to go ahead and put my infantry into phalanx here. The computer is getting a little bit rush happy, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to, oh, sorry, lost hold of the mouse there. I don't know what my cavalry, I'm going to take my cavalry out of groups because, like, they just do not listen when they're in groups. I just sent my cavalry out to charge. You saw where I clicked the command order there, and some of you asked why I don't use groups. That's why. I had my cavalry all grouped together, and I clicked an attack order, and they ran in like 6 different directions and straight forward through my line, and didn't do what I asked. So I had kind of a micro lapse there, and I have problems all over the battlefield that I need to bring under control because of that micro lapse. I don't want to lose a whole bunch of my cavalry right to start off with, because I'm going to need them for the remainder of this fight to chase down all these routing troops. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup all my cavalry. I tried that in the last battle and the same thing happened to me, so I'll just make sure it doesn't happen again. Now there's a whole bunch more barbarian cav bearing down on me. I'm going to try and get my cavalry back behind the lines before it routs. They're not responding real good though. Looks like one unit of them is probably going to get routed. Let's see, the rest of my cavalry is safely up on that hill. There we go. This will get my cavalry safely behind the line. And it should draw the enemy cavalry into my phalanx. Sure enough, it was a smart command move by the barbarians.
The gods have filled the enemy general with fear. Now he flees the field like a coward.
There's some more barbarian light cavalry on top of the hill. I'll go ahead and go attack them. I am being attacked by barbarian archers though, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to keep my one battle line intact and use my cavalry to run down enemy cavalry and archers, and I'll just not worry about trying to micromanage my phalanx at the moment. like I routed that cavalry successfully. What's down here? A bunch of barbarian spearmen down there. So there's a ton of barbarian troops here. But they're all such low quality that I'm not overly concerned about it. Let's see, what kind of troops are these? Barbarian archers. So we can route some of these barbarian archers over here real quick. This battle's going to be kind of a mess for me because it's going to require a lot of micromanagement, but at the same time I'm trying to show you what's happening in the battle. And I got to be careful that my cavalry don't get caught on spearmen, like those that you're seeing there. And I also have to manage, like right here, I'm getting hit with a massive charge all at once. I don't think I'm going to end up gotten my troops turned in time. Some more barbarian cav chasing me. And of course they're going to turn around and run as soon as I decide to chase them. Now let's see what we can do to help my flank over here. My flank is pretty overwhelmed right now. Let's do some hammer and anvil strikes on this big blob of barbarian troops. That'll get a good chain route going. Check out that chain route. Wow. That'll be a testament to the morale of barbarian troops on Rome Total War. Alright, let's get this cavalry back down here. See if we can attack some of those archers. Man, there are barbarians everywhere, and I just cannot kill them fast enough. Some more barbarian light cav here. My cavalry is going to end up having ridiculous numbers of kills. And that's if I can command them quickly enough around the battlefield in order to do all of the killing that they need to do. I'm going to go try and save my other flank there. And it looks like
the enemy general is slain.
There goes another one of the enemy generals. Just a captain. I'm going to charge once again into this big group of barbarians that are attacking. See if I can get another chain route going. There's tons of barbarian archers out here still.
Is running away. This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle it is beyond belief.
There we go. So I've lost a lot of men in this fight. There's no denying that. But it's because it's been a lot of chaos.
It is time to press the attack.
The AI has definitely lost a whole lot more men. And I'm going to chase this big blob of massive routing troops and kill as many of them as I can. And that should help keep me from having to fight the same battle over and over again. Definitely when you have a huge chain route like this, you want to take advantage of it by decimating the routing troops. Boy, check that out. I think the population of Dahae was just cut in half on one single day. Alexander's going to be remembered here as the butcher of Dahae. There's some barbarian swordsmen attacking my phalanx. Can't honestly say that I'm overly concerned. My men are in guard mode, which is the only reason. And it doesn't even look like the barbarians are pushing forward. They're just like standing there just outside of spear range, rethinking whether or not they've made a good decision in attacking Alexander the Great. Alright, I need to keep my giant mob of cavalry busy, as if they haven't gotten enough kills already. Check out this pile of bodies right here. Boy, that is insane. There's a heck of a fight there. I've got cavalry standing all over the field that's gotten separated from each other. Just get them all attacking the same units. Anyway, this battle is also pretty much over. I'll come back to you with the results screen. Alright, there's the results of that giant battle with the armies of Dahae. You can see that I slew them absolutely mercilessly on a more than 10-to-1 basis. Let's take a look at the number of casualties inflicted by some of my units. Alexander's unit had 693 kills. I'm telling you, wow, that is amazing. You can see that most of those kills came from my cavalry, so pretty outstanding. There's a general who pulls his own weight. Now back out on the battle map, since we were so successful in that battle, even though our troops are somewhat depleted, we can just go ahead and march on the city up here, this Dahae city that we have to conquer. As you can see, there's a bunch more Dahae troops up there. I guess they haven't quite learned their lesson. And I can recruit some horse archers if I want. But I may do that. I'm not going to mess with them at the moment. Back down here in the south, it looks like Carmana is going to have to give in soon or come out and attack me one way or the other. And other than rebels, absolutely all over the place, things have calmed down quite a bit back here in this part of the country. So let's go ahead and end the turn and continue the campaign. Strongest faction. I don't know how we wouldn't be the strongest faction. It's not like any of our opponents. I guess maybe Dahae was considered the strongest since they had all those huge armies there. Babylonia was doing some more rioting, which is annoying because I have a bunch of troops here, and also let's see if we can go ahead and repair that Grand Bazaar. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of buildings in here that'll help just make the population happy. There we go. You'll notice that my income has slowed down, and that's because I have tons of troops all over the map. And I could go ahead and disband some of them, but I want them to be able to keep my cities happy, so I'm not going to disband them at this time. In fact, I'm only going to be training more for the time being, and that'll just help keep my cities happy. So let's go ahead and besiege.
My lord!
Wow, a couple of more huge Dahae armies here. So, as if we didn't slaughter 3,000 of these guys just a couple of minutes ago, looks like we're about to slaughter 3,000 more of them. And they do have some decent troops here. These barbarian sicklemen are pretty tough, so I definitely want to watch out for them. But this shouldn't be anything I can't handle, since I have quite a lot of experienced troops. Okay, you are just in time for another massive slaughter of the armies of Dahae. Of course, that general's bodyguard right there managed to grab my spearmen just before they could get into phalanx mode. And so, just to make sure that that general doesn't win an uphill charge... Oop, never mind, he's running off. I was going to countercharge through my troops there, which is a little bit sloppy, but would have gotten the job done. I came and captured this hill so that the barbarian troops would have to attack uphill. Even though I think my armies are extremely qualitatively superior, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of terrain and other stuff like that, because I do have a large number of enemy troops that I have to slaughter before the battle can be called over. And basically I'm going to use
the enemy king has been slaughtered.
I'm going to use mass cavalry tactics here for shock. You can see that that just pretty much chain routed the entire first army that Dahae has fielded against me. They do have some troops on my opposite flank here, still making attacks. Those are barbarian sicklemen, which in a sword fight, or in their case a sickle fight, are going to be much more potent than my own troops. So I'm going to take some casualties there on that flank, but I don't really feel like recalling my cavalry. I want to chase down some of these routing enemy troops first, and now I will recall my cavalry. And then here in a minute I'll reform my infantry line for the next wave of barbarians to be slaughtered. Alright, so the first wave of barbarians did not fare so well, which is good, because I don't have, like, a bunch of troops to waste. I am outnumbered quite badly by the enemy, although I'm not very worried about actually losing the fight. Here we go, I'm going to reform my line to meet the oncoming enemy. Take my cavalry and finish off this barbarian light cav that's menacing me. Take care of that. Let's see. I don't know how these barbarian troops got finding that there's whole units of barbarian troops behind me, I will use my my cavalry to redress that situation there. That general just got a hold of one of my weak hoplite units. That must be the general that already routed, because otherwise I can't imagine that general's bodyguard unit wouldn't have won that fight. And to be honest, some of these barbarian troops are out of line, so even though they're like completely full, sicklemen may be pretty tough, but a downhill charge like this is just going to absolutely break anything besides spear infantry. So let's watch that. So barbarians went flying through the air there, like it was some kind of Olympic event. It's called barbarian vaulting. As you can see, my cavalry is quite good at it. And in the upcoming Olympics, we hope to take the gold. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and recall my cavalry back up the hill. I could probably kill all the remainder of their army with just my cavalry, but I'm gonna use my infantry because I'm gonna try and minimize some of the cavalry losses. So you can see me reforming my troops. I captured this hill early on in the battle, and I'm gonna make the barbarians march uphill. That makes them extremely tired, and I'm getting tired of waiting on them. So here they come. Here comes the first charge. Let's watch these sicklemen. They're already exhausted. They come charging up the hill into the front of a phalanx, and you can imagine what that does to morale. And I'll be honest, though, these are pretty cool looking troops. I always say to be honest, as if I'm ever trying to be dishonest. I'll see if I can stop that mannerism, as that it might annoy some of you. Here we go. Let's take a look at this side of the battle. Here's more barbarian troops. And what's funny is that the AI is attacking uphill at me. It's funny because I'm the one that attacked and started the battle, so they totally didn't have to run up this hill and attack me. But I suppose if they want to be so giving as to give their lives to make the battle easier for me, then I'm appreciative. Maybe that's just their way of giving me a Christmas present. So, thank you. I enjoy it. These poor barbarian infantry, they were never meant to fight this kind of battle. They were meant to fight in woodlands and hilly terrain, and just not on an open battlefield like this. Alright, in fact, factions like Dahae were probably better suited to mounted type fighting, where they had tons of mounted archers and other such troops, as infantry was not really the force to be reckoned with out on the steppe. I'm just gonna charge my wait. The enemy general's bodyguard is charging me, so I'm going to recall all my cavalry into that fight, and he is now routing.
The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only
now the entire barbarian army is going to be suffering from having lost their general, and they're going to be prone to a massive chain rout, which you see happening. So that's why I just went ahead and charged my cavalry forward. I no longer need infantry support at this point. This battle's pretty much over. I will show you the results when I get there. I had another gigantic victory, so in just a couple of turns, I want to say that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,700, I guess, members of the army of Dahae that I destroyed. So, now that we're back on the campaign map, there's not really a whole lot else that we need to do. Our two main armies, which two armies is probably all we need at this point back here. Alexander's going to take the north, and I'm going to march towards India with my other army there. And let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens. Looks like the Persians are going to stand and fight outside of Persepolis. So it's going to be a pretty big fight, almost 2,000 Persians. So I'll see you on the battle map for that. So I want you to see this. The Persian army that attacked me was this 21 member unit of Barcanian horsemen. So I'm going to hand it to these guys. They're pretty brave. Now granted, they do have a whole bunch of reinforcements, but these particular Barcanian horsemen either deserve our respect for being so brave, or they deserve an award for being the dumbest soldiers in the history of Rome Total War. Let's watch their demise here. There's their little commander. Died instantly.
They are not soldiers,
and the rest of them decided that running away was probably a better plan to begin with, and I'm going to agree with them. So let's go take a look at what the Persians are going to throw at us. Actually, let's just fast forward. I'm going to capture this little hill here. Fast forward, let the Persians march forward, see what they've got. I have a ton of allied heavy cavalry, so I can probably just mow down any of these Persian armies just with my cavalry, and that's probably what I'm going to do for the most part. And I'll use my infantry to just keep the other army busy. There are 2 Persian armies approaching me. You can see that one there, and then another small one over here on this flank, so nothing that I won't be able to easily deal with. Looks like the 2 Persian armies are attempting some type of merge. I'm going to wait for them to get just a little bit closer, and then I'm going to enact a massive cavalry attack on them. And just straight up rout them all at once. As you can see that the Persians have intelligently formed the center of their army with peasants. Now, peasants are a good, solid unit to keep at the core of your army. I mean, there's nothing that strikes fear into the heart of your opponent quite like a peasant wielding some type of cheap wooden weapon that is probably going to break the second that it is slung into combat. So I'm going to definitely give the Persians props for having brought such an intelligent army there. I'm definitely afraid of their peasants, and hopefully, just hopefully, I'll be able to defeat their mighty peasants. Now I'm going to save, their mighty peasants for the last. I want to deal with their weak troops first. Sarcasm intended, but to be honest, all their troops are pretty darn weak, so I don't even really need to be sarcastic. Oh, that's kind of an oxymoron. I'm going to deal with the weak Persian troops first. All the Persian troops are weak except for like Bactrian horsemen. So there goes the Persian chariots first. They're going to get overwhelmed, cause minimal damage. Now I'm going to turn all my horsemen back on these Cardaces. And you're going to watch my army my cavalry completely rout this Persian army. So there goes those 2 units. I'm going to let them get slaughtered a little bit. That way not too many of them escape off the battlefield. And now we're just going to push on forward. There goes the first unit of peasants. They stood bravely. If by bravely, I mean they wet their pants and ran immediately. Just like the next unit. And the next unit. I think you all get where this is going. Next unit. I bet those Persian peltasts will be a lot tougher, right? Yep. They sure lasted a while. You can definitely see that the once great Persian Empire has been resolved to a fighting force of peasant slaves. But then again, that's pretty much all the Persian army was to begin with, so... There we go. Here's an enemy Hyrcanian cavalry that's routing. I guess the Persians think if they get behind my lines that they'll stand a whole lot better chance, but I'll bet I could have routed all of them without even turning my troops around. Next time I would suggest that the Persians try to fight without peasants. The peasants really don't do much good. They are great for absorbing Pilla, though, if you're fighting the Romans. If that was the case, I would have given the Persians props, because they would have had a great meat shield to absorb all the Pilla. Anyway, this battle was over before it started. I'll bring you a result when we get there. Alright, here we are, about 1,674 dead Persians later. Let's see the results of that battle. My cavalry inflicted massive casualties.